What's up, guys? Eric Oakley and Chris Clemens back for the back nine coverage of round 4 at the Dynamic Disc Glassblown Open presented by Latitude 64. This is one of the most covered events in disc golf. We got Jomez, Gatekeeper Media, Smashbox, and DD Media bringing you multiple cards. So make sure you guys go check out those other avenues, but we got DD Media right here. You ready to go?
Yes, sir.
Let's do this thing. So after the front nine, Sexton, Hannum both tied at 8 under par. Johnny McCray making a push at 10 under. And Austin battling. He's at 2 under. Anything under par is still really good. We got a stretch of 4 par 3s in a row. We're going to start on hole 10.
Definitely. This is hole 10, par 3, 391 feet. This after playing 8 and 9, you're glad to come to this hole. There still is danger. There's OB right. There's OB left. But if you throw a good solid shot, you should be able to get a putt.
And this was a ripping headwind, if I remember.
Yes, that's kind of what my disc did as well. Just didn't even want to fly.
I took a Lucid X Felon and murdered it as hard as I could. And
forehand?
It was this on a backhand,
wow.
And it went dead straight.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, you can see the wind is just wreaking havoc on these.
It's almost.
Do that up the middle, that would have been money.
Nate's a character, man.
Yep.
Oh, please.
That looks good.
Come on, be good.
I hope it doesn't flip too much.
Oh,
No way. He'll have a putt for a 3, but man, that was a really good shot. High difficulty there.
That's a great play from Johnny. He was challenging those branches, but taking the love when it comes, and going to have a pretty easy putt for his par.
And if you guys haven't seen the round 3 coverage, Brian Earhart, he might have threw a comet in on this hole. That was pretty cool to see.
Maybe, but we'll let you guys find out.
Yeah. Spoiler alert. But if you're watching this, you should have already watched round 3.
I'm hoping.
Unless
You've
they
been
like
staying
watch
tuned.
them backwards.
Yeah, which is weird. Good comeback putt from Hannum. That's a good 3 save from Austin. He threw a wonderful tee shot that just got slightly punished.
You know, it's so weird because we're seeing these guys score right now, 8 under, 10 under, and we're in the final round of a 4-round tournament, and the leader after the first day was at 11 under. Mm-hmm. Usually the guys are like at 40 under by now.
Yeah, exactly. It's a different change of pace, and I think the Country Club offers that exact scoring spread for us, which is super, super awesome. Hole 11. This hole is also playing incredibly difficult. Similar headwind to the last hole, and it just feels so far. I think Johnny is pulling out a Lucid X Enforcer, so this thing is super overstable. He's trusting it to fight.
Wow.
And that's just nothing you can do. The wind is so strong.
Gosh.
I think that looked like a machete, and just didn't have the length or push to keep him in bounds.
This is it's a weird hole because, at any other day, any other wind, you don't even think about laying up. Mm-hmm. All you're thinking is 2. This might be pretty good. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
The hyzer flip into the wind.
But maybe not what he was going for,
right.
But a wonderful result.
But it'll work.
Oh, flight line. Yeah, it's tough to get flight lines in this wind.
Yeah,
So, but Nate
bouncing up and
executing
down.
a great shot.
Yeah, I remember standing on this tee.
What
That's
just
exactly
happened?
what my disc did. It got lifted so far up in the air. I thought about laying up, but I was like, I don't even know how to lay up on this hole. Because still you got an upshot just
Yeah.
like that. It's not easy. It's
Not
like,
what you
well,
want.
if I go out of bounds by the green, I'll still have a putt for a par. Yeah, and you see Austin, he's got a 20-footer.
Mm-hmm.
And there you go.
Back to back, OB3s.
Mm-hmm.
and he was, inches away on the last hole from a great birdie, and maybe not a wind slam or wind put lift away from maybe another birdie. So, I mean, that's how this golf works. You can throw great shots and maybe not get rewarded when it comes down to it.
Yeah. And you definitely just kind of got to roll with the punches when it's windy like this.
Mm-hmm.
You got to know that even if you're throwing amazing shots, sometimes the wind will just steal it from you.
Absolutely. Hole 12 is a great par 3, bringing this Melton Bush in the way. OB on the right side, OB fairway on the left. If you have the big forehand, it is a great play for the right-handed players. If you're feeling frisky, you can throw the hyzer out over a B, over OB on the right side. But the flex shot is also a wonderful shot. And Brian Earhart aced this hole today.
Yes, he did.
2 aces in a tournament.
Yeah.
One on coverage.
Back-to-back days. It's insane, and it's so funny because like Brian he's a great guy, and he deserves it. And I heard he was just as surprised on this hole, even though he could probably see it. But it's so cool. I wish I would have got to see him.
Absolutely. That's a good play. Overstable disc. Just trusting it. Adam Hammis rocking the whale sack in hand.
Ooh.
Ensuring his grip.
Sit down.
And he just sent it so far.
I mean, he threw the shot like you're supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
That's what that wind will do on this one. It keeps it in the air.
Yeah.
Rather than when you want that flex to kind of die out with an overstable disc. Yeah, Nate.
Corner pocket.
Austin?
There it is, Austin. I mean, he's thrown the last 3 drives he's thrown have been great, and he's made 3 putts.
And
so he's doing everything he's supposed to.
Yeah.
There's nothing else he can do.
Again, you hyped on it in the first one. You just have to stay positive. It's a mental battle. It's a mental fight. And, Johnny hitting him with the moves.
This is hole 13 here, par 3, 394 feet. It's kind of similar to hole 11. It plays way more uphill. If you want to get inside the circle on this hole, you really have to push out over the OB, especially today. The wind is blowing right to left, so it's a pretty tough wind today, a pretty tough hole.
Nate opting for the forehand.
Yeah. I'm surprised to see that, but he's trying to fight that wind, and he's trying to play for a 3. And that's a smart play.
Yeah, absolutely is. This is looking great. Doesn't catch any thick stuff, and he gets that a little bit up. He's, 2 things happen. He's flirting with the OB, or he's parked, and it's one of those. You have to trust your discs. I think this is a giant from Johnny. Getting love, man. Yep. That's so good.
It's a good shot. He threw it out over the OB, trusted it.
Adam ripping on a force here.
If that gets a skip, that's going to be perfect.
Just do it. Yes.
Oh, that's going to be about 80 long.
Yeah, stop going so hard, kid.
Yeah, he smashed that thing. And that's what the wind, that right to left wind will do. It'll carry it a long ways as well.
It's a smart play. Nate laying up, I believe, is an AVR X3. Austin putts Challenger SS's.
Yeah.
And he likes the glide. He likes that feel.
Yeah, he's kind of like a softer, kind of puts a little bit of spin and lets it float.
Ooh, that was a good bid. And Adam, I believe, putts. Oof.
Uh-oh. That's a really hard putt.
Absolutely.
Especially because you're kind of straddled, so it's harder to get your body into it. It's just a wrist flick.
Good comeback. Adam has the luxury of having some advice on his discs. Where
does he?
He's every time he looks down at his
I'm
putter.
anxious a process where we can take just about any image
All right, Bobby.
and put it on a disc.
What about a dog surfing on a pizza
drinking root beer.
That's a toughie. Actually, no, it's not. We can Dymax that. Find out more about all the things that we can put on a disc at dynamicdiscs.com/Dymax.
So like I was saying before Bobby so rudely interrupted me, Adam can look down at his discs, and he understands that he needs to focus.
Oh, yeah. I like that. That's good. Got hole 14 here. It's a par 4, 751 feet. This hole is the 14th hardest hole today. The wind was kind of right to left tail. I personally love this hole. I think it's a great hole, especially after playing those par 3s. This one you can kind of open up a little bit, but it's just kind of got everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it has gaps to shoot off the tee, and you can kind of choose your gap, and then you can kind of go left side, open fairway, or right side. It's a little more risky on the right, but, you know, most guys are right-handed, so go roller. This is also another option. This looks to be pretty good.
It's getting pushed so hard. He's finding that safe spot, what he wants. With this left to right, or right to left tailwind, if you decide to throw a sidearm or a lefty backhand that is turned over or flexed over, the wind kind of doesn't let it go.
Yeah.
We had 2 drives on our card that went straight OB left, and they were crushed, but the wind just kind of said, nah, you're mine.
Exactly. And that's how you really have to know what the wind's doing, and you have to know your frisbees.
Johnny looking like he's just trying to put himself with an opportunity.
Ooh.
If that gets off the wall, he should be fine.
Yeah, that's a look. He was trying to stay away from that OB on the right, but he ran into some OB on the left, but luckily stayed safe.
Mm-hmm.
That looks like a really good shot.
That drop was probably very, very kind to stay under those branches, because if he hits those branches, he's sitting back 100 feet.
Yeah.
Instead, he jumps up and he's got 40 feet.
That's really the way to play this hole. You see Nate throwing it very low. And you want to go under the branches and skip. Because if you go out over that OB, you know, especially with this wind, you could stay there.
Absolutely. Get in.
Oh.
That was almost an eagle moment for Austin.
Yeah, he almost eagle hole. Ooh.
I've been very impressed with Johnny's touch game on some of these approaches. He's given him bids in crazy winds.
I mean, I can reiterate that Johnny, he's an amazing just putter thrower, you know. So of course he's an amazing putter, up shots. He just feels comfortable with that disc in his hand, and he has tons of confidence in it. So he knows he can do anything with it.
I mean, I feel like Johnny McCray is like the 90s Honda Civic.
Yeah,
of disc
I can
golf.
see that.
Like, still running, like probably just needs an oil change and maybe a car wash, and it's just perfect condition. Drives better than any car nowadays.
For sure.
That's so. Hole 15 is an island hole. This hole is a great shot to show our players what kind of power they have. But in this wind, you kind of get crushed. It doesn't matter how hard you throw. It's just about how can you control the disc to put it on this island. And this wind is dancing with Austin's disc. Get in. Good.
You hear Nate really cheering the disc on. He wanted that to get left.
It doesn't hit. Like, at this point, you're watching your fellow card mates, and you're just like, just don't get punished anymore.
Yeah.
You've seen it happen so often this week with some of these shots.
There's a giant for Johnny going up the gut.
Work for him. Yeah.
That's fine. I mean, realistically, you know, the drop zone here, if you don't make this island, is pretty tough. So I think everybody really is trying to it, but get in bounds. But if you don't, I mean, you really just want to be in bounds. Because a 5 is pretty achievable from the drop zone if you're not careful.
Oh, yeah. And the drop zone is a very difficult shot into this headwind. Difficult to control the distance. Easy to come up short. Easy to push long. And again, Johnny just showing what that Honda warranty looks like. That's a great bid from Hammis.
Austin trying to play the win there too. It's like a bunch of pars here.
Just very solid for the hole. This playing right in the middle of difficulty on the day.
We're only 3 birdies on this hole.
Very impressive.
I thought there'd be a lot more, even though the wind. Got hole 16 here, the island hole, iconic with Emporia and the country club. It's a par 3, 383 feet. The wind was kind of right to left tail on this one, so it made the forehand maybe seem a little more appetizing, or even the layup.
Absolutely. And this is what you will see so often, is the disc just they get pushed, they get lifted, they get slammed, they get sent into trees that pretty much aren't in play.
Yeah. Nate's played it pretty well here.
And then just gets crushed right before the island.
Yeah, I saw some pretty crazy things going on this hole. Is that a Lucid X Enforcer?
I think so. And good. Come on.
I mean,
what do you want him to do?
yeah, you can't do anything there. You just hope that it hits the front and sticks.
Yeah. Look at this
It's
thing.
looking good. Just dig.
What a shot, Adam.
That's perfect.
Like, that was getting just absolutely, like, messed around by the wind. And, you know, he just got it up and had enough power on it to push and
Yeah.
get himself on the island.
He's been throwing that shot a lot today with his forehand, so, you know, it's just like, well, dial it up one more time and see what happens.
I love it. Couple layups.
Is that a whale?
That was the AVR X3.
Was it? Okay. I was going to say, I didn't think Joel Freeman was on our cart.
Yeah. Mr. Get Up himself.
See if Adam can convert here. It's a headwind putt. Oh, yeah.
Great 2 from Adam.
He was one of only 2 birdies on the day.
Dynamic Disc sponsored player, Logan Harpool, happened to get it as well, and that's usually what'll carry around, moving very, very forward. Hole 17, par 4. I love this change. It flows really well. It's the second most difficult hole on the day. It was the first most difficult on day 1. Tough tunnel of a fairway. OB on the right side, OB on the left, and then you have to throw a crazy shot, generally over OB most of the time, to access that chance at a birdie 3.
Yeah, this whole it was playing the same type of wind it was 2 days ago, so left to right. So if you're a right-handed backhand player and you're throwing kind of, you know, a straight to overstable drive up the gut, I think that it kind of helps you stay a little straighter, maybe push your right before coming back left. You know, if you're a left-handed player, this hole's pretty tough right now.
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
wind doesn't set up well, and you can see that it kind of beating him down right there.
And I think what we see with
We go Nate. I'm excited to see what he's doing here. That's got to hit a tree.
and it does.
And it did. Maybe he was playing for that.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what I should have done.
Hit a tree that's in bounds and then
Yeah.
go from there.
Yeah. That's good.
Wow. What a shot. Crowd loves it. Johnny's always got some people behind him. So what happens on this hole kind of reminds me of, we're going big. 888 at USDGC. And that's on the green, no chance. What happens on 888 at USDGC is when you have to throw over that parking lot. This is that same type of factor where if you decide to be aggressive and go to the right, like you have this left tunnel that you can throw down, keep it in bounds, be safe, and then just access the green whenever it's time. But if you decide to be aggressive, you're not progressing very far if you're throwing over this OB.
Correct. Ooh, that should be in bounds though. You know, and that's why I was trying to play this hole for par, because I feel like the risk isn't worth the reward.
Absolutely.
If you play super aggressive, the best you're going to be able to do is a birdie
Yeah.
3.
Yeah.
And if you don't achieve what you're trying to do and you go a beat early, I mean, you bring 5, 6, 7, 8 into play. And so is one stroke really worth that risk?
Absolutely.
That's my thought on it.
I mean, that's the right way to be thinking about the hole in its entirety, and not, in playing the odds like we do on hole 16.
Yeah.
I think you see a lot of players go for it because it's a 2 or a 4,
Right.
and the layup is a 3 or a 5. So
Exactly.
like, what are your? I think the odds way better in your favor. Great hit from Adam. That was a very well executed hole for him. Johnny cleaning up.
Done.
He had that unfortunate OB, and we'll see you later, Johnny.
He's running. Where's he going?
He's getting that. He's getting trying to catch that last ticket on the hype train.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Austin
This guys played this hole
unfazed by the
very well.
golf carts in the background. Total focus. But he putts with challengers, so he didn't have the reminder. So we're on to hole 18, redesigned to help involve the spectators, give some bleachers so we can watch this finishing hole to an elevated basket with water sloping away. And it's awesome. We're probably going to see quite a few layups on this one to be able to access that hyzer from the short pad drop zone, the MPO3. Definitely gives you a pretty good access to get your par, but definitely have a great opportunity to get birdie.
Yeah, I personally love this change. It's I feel like it's a way better hole than it was last year. Now, there's more risk involved. You're going to see more scoring separation, not just guys, chucking it up the hill a couple
Totally.
times.
Well, I felt like the last hole you saw a lot of pars, just
Yeah.
a lot,
Exactly.
and very few threes.
Right.
Where with this change, this brings in some bogeys into play because
Yeah.
you're having to throw over water if you want this layup, and you're having to throw these shots to
Right.
be able to execute. It brings more OB into play, so I think the scoring separation is even bigger.
Sit.
And Johnny
Johnny
just
goes
ripped
long.
that thing too long.
Yeah, and guys can even go for it off the tee, for a 2. I've heard of like
Absolutely.
eagle trying that and probably double
Oh my
G.
goodness. Johnny gets blown away on 18.
Yeah, the wind here on this upshot is hard right to left. I remember playing it, and it was just you really had to go out over the water if you wanted, or just keep it really low. You see what it's doing to Nate's disc.
Nate, I think catching that limb slowed his disc down enough to where it didn't have enough action to get up the hill and find OB like Johnny's did.
Yeah.
Now Johnny hit that branch early, but he's pushing. He's trying to
See
put
Austin
up a good
attacking the
number.
pin more. That's good. He'll have a tailwind putt uphill.
Yeah, he's got
Not
to
gonna
throw it
be
to
easy,
the moon
Yeah.
to have a chance. Adam in a pretty primo spot. Just needs this one to stick.
Ooh, sit down.
Oh, just out the back.
You hear him saying it was long.
Yeah.
Adam's a pretty vocal player.
Mm-hmm. And I understand him being upset here. It's coming down the stretch. There's
Sit down.
USDGC spots on the line. There's these players have played a long, grueling tournament. Very smart play from Johnny, getting to the tailwind side of the basket.
Adam's running this all day. He's an aggressive player.
Oh, gave it a chance. Yeah,
There it
Austin.
is.
That's the way to finish the tournament.
Nice. He's one of 7 birdies here on the day.
That's awesome.
There it
Good hit
is.
from Nate.
Yeah, this is a good finishing hole. I love that it's raised as well, and that wind blowing. I mean, it's tough. You really have to earn it. Oh,
Man. And even with that, Adam is going to finish in 10th, and he's going to claim a USDGC spot. I talked to him afterwards, and he was really stoked about how the weekend went. I know he's not happy with how it finished, but that is still some super, super stellar golf. And the crowd going wild for Johnny throwing in that turbo putt. He just kills it. So Sexton putting up an awesome number, staying at 9 under par. Adam Hammis dropping to 5. Johnny McCray to 6, and Austin Hannum getting to -3. these golfers battled really hard, and it was really fun to watch. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. I had a pleasure hanging out with you, Chris, and doing commentary.
Yeah, man, I loved it. I love the GBO. I'm already looking forward to next year.
I know 2020, it's going to be pretty easy to see next year.
Oh, yeah.
Got him. So guys, make sure you like, subscribe, ring that bell for the DD channels. We have a bunch of content coming out. We have stuff ranging from tutorials to round coverage, and we even have some funny stuff coming always because we're a family and we like to keep things fun, so you get a little bit of both sides. Thank you guys for tuning in. As always, be dynamic.